We were the leftovers. So no, we didn't make it on a baseball team. But I really wanted to play. So my dad did what dads sometimes do. He volunteered to coach for the first time. Now, he was an aerospace engineer, and we were 6. So I wondered, is sending satellites to space anything like sending kids to first base? Now, if you've ever been to a Little League game, you know what it's like. For us, parents and coaches chaotically shouted as we ran about the field in the wrong direction. So, do we touch the base or tag the runner? Which one do we do in the moment? Well, my father asked, why don't we do both? Touch the base and tag the runner. And by covering both options, we eliminated our decision-making errors, we got the outs, and started winning games. Since then, thanks to my dad, I started to use such simple, unconventional solutions throughout my life. In fact, I simplify messages for one of the world's largest retailers, and I decided to take simplicity to the one thing we don't want to talk about: money. Money is the last great taboo. It's a private topic requiring modesty. Growing up, my mom used to say, talking about money, it's like talking about your underwear. Now, we don't want to be out there boasting about our bank accounts, but if we don't talk about how to do money, the next generation coming up could end up silently suffering. You see, money's too big to ignore. Without a plan, a majority of us at every age, wage, and stage of life end up living paycheck to paycheck, spending ourselves into debt. We can quietly snuggle with our struggle, and that can happen generation after generation. Have you heard this before? I wish someone had told me about money earlier. Now, I know I've said that many times. Maybe you have too. So how do we be that voice for the next generation? Well, thinking back to Little League, my father, he solved for the most common play. So I asked myself, what is the most common way money grows? Well, for most of us, that would be a retirement account, growing over time, just like we see in this curve. Money can double, double again, and again, and again. Under common circumstances, early invested money has about 4 chances to double across a career. That's compounding at work, super simplified. But waiting for money to grow. Who has the patience for that? For us Americans, even immediate gratification is starting to feel too slow. This curve, it's not enough on its own. And then I realized we've been looking at money from the wrong direction. So what do we do about this? We flip the curve. And when we flip the curve, the meaning totally changes. This no longer speaks to money slowly growing over time, something that peaks far off in the future. This now speaks to an ability we have now, an ability we have to multiply money. You see, when we start a career, that power, it's the most potent, and it generally cuts in half about every decade from there. A half of a half of a half of a half until we retire. Early on, we have the ability to multiply money something like 16 times over. This is the power of 16. Now, money can grow more or less from that starting point, but what we're really looking for here is a Goldilocks number, something that is just right, because it's within reach for most. Speaking of, I talked with college students, and this is what sticks with them: the power of 16. Because it may be the first time in their lives they're hearing about this hidden leverage, and it's right under their noses. And it doesn't stop there. What happens when we put our ability to use even earlier? Well, you might need a second napkin for that. Now, by comparison, at this point in the game for me, I may yield somewhere around the multiplying power of 3 with money. Now, that's humbling, but still powerful. This path to multiplying money, it's strikingly similar to the path of athletic ability. Check out NFL football players, peaking at age 26 with explosive power, sloping down from there. Now, how about Olympic ice skaters? And how about this one? For all of you who are thinking of taking this one up next, that's right, sumo wrestling. We're all familiar with this phenomenon. Physical ability naturally diminishes over time, and so does our ability to multiply money. The great myth of waiting till we're older, wiser, promoted, or earning more to start investing is now debunked. 1,000 financial possibilities. They're now simplified into a single, now familiar curve. I didn't have the playbook on money growing up. Maybe you didn't either. And that's okay. Because as the writer G.K. Chesterton put it, the only way I've ever caught a train successfully is by missing the one before. So let's jump on this train and let's tell others about the ability they didn't know they had. Your son, your daughter, your grandchild, the next generation. Now, let's take a look at what happens when we overlap these two curves we've been talking about. As our multiplying power fades over time, the money that we've been growing accelerates. This is the yin and yang of multiplying money. Touch the base and tag the runner. My dad didn't just teach us 6-year-olds how to get on base. He engineered a way for us to win 7 years worth of championships. His simple, unconventional solutions met us where we were at. Likewise with money. Get out of your comfort zone and get ready to talk about your underwear. You know what I mean, money. Yeah. And in revealing to the next generation their superpower, go simple, go unconventional. Draw a couple curves on a napkin. And in sharing this, we have the opportunity to double our purpose, double it again and again and again. Let's have that money conversation with the next generation. Thank you.